How is everybody doing? Welcome to episode 3 of the Throw It Deep podcast. We're sitting here on January 5th, Tuesday, 2021, and Week 17 is officially in the books.
As well as the regular season.
Another NFL regular season has come and gone, which is always sad.
It's always sad. I mean, we have the playoffs ahead of us, and obviously we're excited about that.
Both me and you do not have the playoffs
we
ahead
do
of
not,
us, but we have playoff watching ahead
honestly,
of us.
we get to watch as fans, and there's nothing to be worried about.
Which is something to be said about that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty, I'm going to miss Red Zone. I'm going to miss, the whole every team playing slate, but at the same time, I'm ready for the playoffs to start.
Yeah, I mean, I think me and you are the same in that every Sunday for the past 5 months has been sitting in front of the TV for 8 hours straight, at least.
Every Sunday from September to December for the past 15 years has been sitting in front of the TV for 8 hours straight. So,
but now we got some good matchups.
Yeah,
we'll start with we'll go over some of the Week 17 games and kind of clean.
A lot of them didn't really matter, but some of them definitely did matter. And we'll start with the Dolphins and Bills, which definitely mattered for the team in Miami, and they laid a stinker.
56-26 final. Buffalo absolutely bludgeons the Dolphins and then ends their season.
I was really disappointed in Miami.
Now, this was a game for Buffalo that meant something for them seeding-wise, I believe.
Well, if the Steelers won.
It didn't end up mattering because the Steelers lost, but yeah, the Bills needed to win to secure that 2 seed because they could end up seeing Pittsburgh in the divisional round. We'll get to all that. But anyway, Dolphins-Bills, wow.
This was Tua's most important game of his career other than the national championships, and jeez, he didn't look good, man.
I mean,
the 26 on the board is not indicative of how their offense played. I mean, 20 of those points were in the second half, and the game was over. They were playing against Matt Barkley. I mean, obviously that's the other side of the ball, but they looked awful.
I mean,
it was like for me, it was like you needed to bring in your A game, your absolute A game, and you laid the biggest stinker maybe you have all year. See you next year. That's the way I felt.
Let me ask you this, because this is a conversation we've had on the first episode specifically about Tua. What do you do if you're the Dolphins? You don't just go and yes, they have they're going to have the 3rd pick in the draft because they have the Houston pick from the Laramie Tunsil trade, but you don't go take another quarterback.
You don't. I would say it probably won't happen. It would 90% won't happen, and I'm going to say 90% because it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, if
the GM did come out today and say that he's pretty happy with Tua and that he's their starting quarterback moving forward, which is worth noting.
You would think that he would be. I mean,
he was the 5th pick.
Yeah, you would think Tua is going to be the quarterback going forward. He's the 5th pick. They put a lot into him. However, say they fall in love with the Justin Fields. I mean, again, I'm them. I'm sticking with Tua. Again, he's a rookie.
I really think Justin Fields is not going to be there. As the days have gone on, I'm thinking more and more the Jets are going to draft Justin Fields.
Well,
yeah.
There's a lot of time until then.
I think they're going to... Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's about all we'll have to talk about during the offseason.
Okay, here's the thing. I mean, we can give Tua as much hate as we want. Here's the thing. Like, you're asking a lot out of a rookie quarterback to go in and beat a Bills team who, in my opinion, is the top 3 team in the NFL. Like,
top 3 defense, without a doubt.
Yeah. It's a lot to ask. He didn't look good, but it's tough to look good as a rookie quarterback in that situation.
And it's not like with the Dolphins, they haven't really opened up the playbook for Tua and kind of let him do his thing yet. But he hasn't looked good. He's looked bad. So in that sense, I guess maybe think about taking a look at Fields if he falls.
Take a look at him. I mean, of course, you
have
a 3rd overall pick.
You do your due diligence as a 3rd overall pick, and definitely take a look at him. But I don't know. I don't see it happening. I don't think Fields is going to be there anyway. But even if he is, I think they're going to keep building around Tua at least for next year. You don't give up on him after 8 games.
Do you think they might trade back?
Yeah, I could see it.
Even just a couple spots?
Well, don't they? Because
say Sewell's
their first rounder is going to be what, like 20?
Their own?
Yeah.
No, because they didn't make the playoffs. It'll be 18 probably.
Right. Yeah, because there are 14 playoff teams this year. So yeah, it'll be probably 18 because they were probably the best non-playoff team. So they're going to have 2 first rounders. You maybe trade back. We'll see what happens, but they're not going to take another quarterback.
No, I won't judge it out. It's not in the realm of possibility. But
I mean, obviously, I have some bias towards Tua, but I'm giving him one more year.
Oh my God, I'm giving him 2 probably.
With that being said, he doesn't start to show something next year. then
then
you start thinking about the future. But we'll move on from that. Ravens 38, Bengals 3.
I think the only thing that needs to be said about this is the Ravens are emerging at the right time.
It's pretty typical Ravens to just kind of beat up on a terrible team.
And you were saying that in the last show. Again, they look good now.
Yeah,
finally.
This was
Lamar Jackson has looked the best that he has this year in the last few weeks. So.
And they got a rematch against Tennessee.
And they've been waiting for this game all offseason. We'll get to that. But yeah.
And so Browns take down the Steelers 24-22 to clinch playoffs for the first time since, 2002, I believe. Awesome for Cleveland.
What's not awesome for Cleveland
the bad news is, however... so it was Kevin Stefanski tested positive for COVID,
and a couple other coaches too,
and a couple of other coaches. So,
that's just so Browns.
I feel
horrible. It's like you finally get over the hump, and now it's like, oh, well, there you go. Frustration.
We'll see what happens.
Players play, coaches coach, and players play, and I'm sure he's gonna have a Zoom game plan for them. But
yeah, I don't know what the protocol is gonna be for the coaching staff, but we'll keep an eye on that as the week goes on. But if that is the case, that they're down multiple coaches, I know we've given the Steelers our fair share of criticism on this show, but even before the news that Stefanski was out, you just beat the Steelers by 2 points with Mason Rudolph starting and a lot of other starters out for the Steelers. Then you get them the next week. I was taking the Steelers either way.
So for me, we both have been talking about this. We said it a little bit on air and off air. It was always, all right, whoever Steelers play in the first round, take them.
This is probably the best case scenario
for them,
for the
especially.
Steelers
I mean, they put out their second team, and then,
yeah, well,
barely lost.
We'll get.
They came back, but still,
we'll get to a preview.
Yeah, we'll get to that more often.
But Vikings 37, Lions 35.
Game that didn't matter.
Exciting game.
Very exciting game. But
Kirk Cousins threw 400 yards.
Yeah,
which you don't see.
No, not at all. So. Whatever.
We'll talk about the Lions coaching search as well later in the show. And then Patriots 28, Jets 14. 4 total touchdowns for Cam Newton.
His send-off, his adios sign.
I wanted to lose this game. I absolutely when we went down 14-7, I was thinking, wow, we're going to lose this game and we're about to have a top 10 pick. And I was pretty excited about it,
now?
Honestly. We're at 15.
15?
15.
Yeah,
so which is not bad at all. But, Cam Newton picks week 17 when we kind of need to lose as the game he's going to start throwing the ball around. He threw 3 touchdowns, which he hasn't done all year. He caught 1 too. I guess, it was exciting to see. I was reading an article this morning. I can't remember who by, but it was talking about it wasn't from any kind of rumor or anything or any story. It was just someone's thoughts. Maybe they should consider bringing Cam back in a Taysom Hill type role, which I don't hate.
I wouldn't hate it either. I'm not sure that's what Cam Newton wants to do.
I'm not either, but he's not getting a starting job.
No, and that's the thing. I don't know. Cam Newton, to me, either needs to embrace a role like that, or walk off into the sunset. Because he's not getting a starting job.
He's absolutely not going to get another starting job, I think.
Think he could compete for a starting job maybe somewhere? Like
maybe Chicago?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Chicago maybe, but...
Bring him back to Carolina? I don't think so. But so... If I'm predicting it, I'm going to guess now that Cam is not going to be back with the Patriots, and I really don't want him. I certainly do not want him back as the starting quarterback.
No, and didn't Bill already say that's not...
No, nothing has come from Belichick. It was the story I know you're talking about from Sunday morning. It was Adam Schefter kind of just giving his opinion, I think, on NFL Live, and kind of everyone ran with it as the Patriots.
Which something needs to be said about the whole ESPN saying... Because today, I mean, we're talking about the Eagles, who we will talk about later. But just Wentz. Mortensen said like the relationship was fractured beyond return, et cetera, et cetera. And then Monday morning, we're saying, oh no, we think we could fix things with Wentz. I just saw a report today that Wentz might probably, or maybe who knows if he's going to leave. So we got to take some of this stuff with a grain of salt.
It's funny with Schefter specifically because he's just become known as like the breaking news guy.
Yeah.
In general,
like he's the woes of the NFL at this point.
he can't go on a show and just give his opinion without people thinking, oh, this is what's going to happen. And
is that okay? Yeah.
I think that's what happened with the Cam Newton story.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, I don't want Cam back in a starting role as quarterback. I hope we draft someone in the first round. We'll see what happens.
We'll see who falls to you. It's going to be the deal.
The trade market's going to be relatively solid with guys like Wentz and Stafford. But we talked about that. We'll get to that more in the offseason.
What else are we going to talk about now? Yeah.
So Giants 23, Cowboys 19 gave the Giants a shot at the NFC.
It was a great game. And I was rooting for the Giants. Before getting into, I always said if for whatever reason we completely blow it and win the game, I'd much rather give the Giants the playoff spot than the Cowboys because I absolutely hate the Dallas Cowboys and I hate the Giants just a little less.
Now both of them finish at 6-10.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is with the tiebreaker there in terms of draft pick wise.
That's a good question.
We'll get to that, but anyway.
Good game. Wayne Gallman almost did a Pisarcik and fumbled the ball.
Oh, at the end of the game, yeah. And he sat on it. And
I was sitting with six Giants fans.
They called it Dallas ball.
Yeah.
And then when take a look at it, and pretty clear recovery from Gallman, and then you can't see the
ball
ball
anymore.
With
six Giants fans,
and
I was like, oh my lord, I cannot believe.
Would you say that was the correct call?
Yeah,
giving it back
absolutely.
Again, not a game that ended up mattering playoff-wise, but yeah, we'll get to the Eagles later.
We'll get to the Eagles later.
So Bucks 44, Falcons 27. Another 400-yard game from Tom Brady. Another 4 touchdowns from Tom Brady.
Made Tom Brady $500,000, right? And then AB got some money too because the
so AB caught 2 touchdowns, and so Mike Evans. Literally 3 plays after breaking Randy Moss's record. So the record was Mike Evans just had his 7th straight 1,000-yard season to start a career, which Randy Moss did it 6 straight years to start his career. Mike Evans just broke that. Then he hyperextended his knee 3 plays later.
I think everybody seeing that was like, wow.
It looked a lot worse than a hyperextension.
Yeah, it looked like 3 letters in your knee.
Something to be said about the Bucs offense is that they didn't miss a beat after Evans went out. You're going against Atlanta's defense.
That's one thing.
We'll see, but
Mike Evans it was not an ACL. It was a hyperextension. So he may or may not play. Honestly, probably should rest him.
What Bruce Arians said was Mike Evans at 80% is better than a lot of guys at 100%. So they might try to play him. They don't need to play him. They're going to beat the Washington football team.
We're going to be talking about the playoff, the wild card round. That is, they're going to win that game. So
I think the smartest thing to do would probably be to sit Mike Evans in that game. You don't really need him. I wouldn't.
Similar to the whole Waddle thing, it's like he's 80%, 75% right now.
Yeah.
Why play him against Notre Dame? Yeah. Why play him against the Washington football team?
It's a similar situation for sure. Anyway, I don't really have much else on the Bucs except for the fact they're clicking at the right time.
They're clicking at the right time too.
So look out for the Bucs.
Absolutely.
They're definitely a team that I think pretty much everyone in the NFC playoffs besides the football team has a decent chance. I think the NFC is a lot.
I would disagree. I don't think the Bears are going into Lambeau.
All right, fair enough. I forgot about the Bears.
We're about the next game on our list right here is the Packers and Bears, and the Packers look really good, and if they play the Bears, they're going to beat them by more than 3 scores.
Yeah, I mean, I think the AFC is a lot more top heavy than the NFC is in terms of this playoff race.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that
you meant the NFC is more top heavy, is what you're saying?
No, I think the AFC is more top heavy because you have the Bills and the Chiefs.
Okay,
and
that's fair.
Who else do you like? I just think there are more teams that realistically can win the NFC.
And again, we'll get into the playoffs more later. The Packers are far and above the rest, and the Bucs are kind of the only other.
We'll see. I'm not a big believer in this Saints team either. So especially if they have to go on the road. So we'll get to that. But yeah, like you just said, Packers 35, Bears 16. Packers are looking awesome. Bears limp into the playoffs. Yeah. They started 5-1 and finished 8-8.
Yeah.
And somehow still make it into the playoffs.
7 team.
Bears Saints should be an interesting one. We'll get to that once we finish all the Week 17 games. Broncos Raiders, another of course good game. Of course, the most meaningless games this week were the most exciting ones.
Yeah, really.
In the Lions Vikings and Raiders Broncos 32-31 final. Raiders finish at 8-8. Not much to say about this one.
No.
Drew Lock looked all right. Jerry Jeudy caught a 90-yard touchdown. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
But other than that, not much in this game. Colts 28, Jaguars 14.
Jaguars made it a game for a while.
In what was maybe supposed to be Phillip Rivers' last career game, he's getting one more ride at the playoffs, which is awesome. And
I love Rivers. Did you see that thing that he might take over? Not take over. He stations are looking at him for
go to the booth to be the next Romo. Yeah, I did see that. But
I mean, have you ever heard him mic'd up? He is hilarious. I
think he'd be good. I mean, the booth is definitely not a job that any quarterback could just come out of retirement and step into like Romo did. But I mean,
Monday Night Football needs some help.
Yeah, that would be fair to say. I would take Rivers over Louis Riddick next year, 100%.
I think Louis Riddick's going to have a job somewhere. But
he's going to be hired as a GM. We'll see what happens with Steve Levy, play-by-play guy in the Monday Night booth. But I have a feeling they're going somewhere else. But anyway, it's I think we actually both agreed that of the 4 teams that were trying to make the wild card in the AFC, the one team who was on the outside looking in, the Colts, I think they're the best of the wild card teams.
I mean, Miami proved to us that they
obviously Miami
deserve to be there.
So, obviously Miami didn't deserve to be there. You could say what you want about the Colts getting to play the Jags week 17 and Miami has to play Buffalo, but, at the same time, that's just usually how the cookie crumbles. But anyway, I do think the Colts are a team that could potentially challenge Buffalo.
That's the thing. I mean,
if I'm Buffalo, I would have obviously based on week 17. I would have much rather played Miami than Indianapolis.
Run it back,
obviously. But we'll see what happens. Next game, Chargers beat the Chiefs 38-21 in a meaningless game. I mean, Chargers finished at 7-9 and I guess cost themselves a couple draft spots. Yeah. But good win for Herbert. Good to build off of next year. It's funny because Anthony Lynn gets fired after beating the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, after beating the Chiefs.
Again, not that it mattered. So. Did Mahomes even play in this one? I didn't watch it at all.
No.
It was Chad Henne?
It was Henne, yeah.
So, okay, well, win for the Chargers. Chargers build into next year with Justin Herbert. Could be an exciting team next year.
Yeah, definitely. I've always said the Chargers have really good personnel.
Though they gotta hire if they have a slam dunk hire. Look out for the Chargers over the next couple of years, and we'll talk about the coaching carousel later. But Rams 18, Cardinals 7. I didn't see this one coming with John Walford starting against Kyler Murray.
I liked him.
He looked serviceable.
He was good. Who was the Cardinals CFL, whatever his name was?
I can't even remember his name.
He was not very good. Kyler Murray got injured early
Kyler
on
came
in the
back,
game.
in the fourth quarter?
With 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it just wasn't enough.
Too little, too late at that point.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of people on Kingsbury's neck right now.
I am not a fan of Cliff Kingsbury. Not that I think he should be fired, but he never really was qualified for an NFL. I know he's the young offensive.
Patrick Mahomes and he goes 6-6.
I know he's like this young offensive mind, and that's like what teams are looking at these days. But he did not win games at Texas Tech. He was like a 500 or worse coach at Texas Tech. Meanwhile, Mike Leach has 8 good years there, but it's not like it's impossible to win at Texas Tech. Is my point.
Absolutely not.
And Kingsbury,
shout out Graham Harrell.
Kingsbury was not great. Yeah, shout out Graham Harrell and Michael Crabtree. But anyway,
that was awesome.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm not a fan of
Cardinals are out.
So is Jared Goff going to be playing this week?
It's up in the air, I believe.
I think that's
here's the thing.
To be determined.
We're both not Jared Goff guys. I didn't mind John Walford, dude.
You got a weak defense in Seattle.
And you have a really strong defense in L.A.
So we'll see what happens.
In that game.
I would think that Goff will probably play. I'm not a doctor, and I don't know how bad his thumb is injured, but I would think he's going to come back.
Your first overall pick,
Seattle,
you're going to push to play.
You're playing your division rival in the
playoffs. Yeah. Don't want to throw out Walford.
It would take a lot to keep. Yeah.
Seattle beats the Niners 26-23, which was a really low-scoring game until the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. And Seattle had their hands tied.
Yeah,
they went down 16-6 in the fourth quarter, and
the Niners losing that game actually cost the Patriots a draft pick.
Really?
Well, not a draft
pick, but
a spot. Yeah, they would have had 14 instead of 15 if the Niners had held on. But whatever. Good fourth quarter for Seattle.
Great fourth quarter. Nice to.
They've been one of the most interesting teams in the league. They've been so up and down all year.
A different Seahawks show up every quarter,
both on offense and on defense. Yeah. So I think they'll beat the Rams. But
it'll be a really, really interesting. That's a really interesting matchup.
It just depends what version of Seattle shows up. But next game, Saints 33, Panthers 7. Not a whole lot to talk about here. 3 touchdowns for Drew Brees. The Panthers are a interesting team for next year.
Yeah, I mean, they're a team that I think is going to be. How many wins do they have this year?
5-11.
They're one of those teams that could turn that 5 into 9 or 10.
I love Matt Rule.
I'm a big Matt Rule guy too.
I absolutely love Matt Rule, and I love.
Now, do you think they
stick
with Teddy Bridgewater as their quarterback, or because he's like serviceable? You know, he's not like they're going to be the guy that's going to.
I've always been a fan of Teddy Bridgewater.
I love Teddy Bridgewater,
and like he's very. I think serviceable is an insult. I think he's pretty dang good. I mean,
he's all right.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't want to say serviceable, but he's not a game changer.
I know it was a 3-year deal he signed. Yeah, I know it was a 3-year deal that Bridgewater signed. I can't remember off the top of my head what the amount was, but it was relatively team friendly if I'm recalling correctly. And I don't know because they're looking at a top 10 pick. They got a lot of other holes besides quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to draft.
They're definitely not going to
probably
going to
go draft defense.
I could see them maybe trying to trade for a guy, but even then, I don't see why you wouldn't run it back with Teddy for at least one more year.
So here's the thing: it's not like if they were in a position to maybe make a run next year, which again I think they're going to be a good team. They could be a much better team than 5-11. But I don't think it's worth it to go out and get a quarterback right now.
I think a good pick for them would be Micah Parsons out of Penn
State.
State.
That would be a great pick for him.
Kind of
fill that
Kuechly replacement, which is obviously a little bit more than just a football void. It's an emotional leadership void as well with Luke Kuechly. But you gotta get someone else in there eventually. Right. But next game, Titans 41, Texans 38.
It was a really exciting game. And I didn't know if the Titans were going to win this game.
Now, I believe the Dolphins losing, the Titans were in, and no matter what. But they probably didn't know that. The game went on. Actually, no, the Titans game was a 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it was a 4 o'clock.
Yeah, so they knew that. So regardless, but I saw something this morning. I'm sure you saw it as well. Of the video of J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson coming off the field after the Titans game, and J.J. Watt just says, "I'm sorry, we wasted one of your years." Says we should have won 11 games, which is a little bit ridiculous. But
I think what he was saying was the way you played.
Yeah, Watson
put us in position to win 11
You could make the argument that Deshaun
defense.
Watson had by far his best season.
Of his career this year. Deshaun Watson. I mean, I feel so bad for him because there's just such a.
They don't have a pick. They should have a top 5. They should have a top 5 pick, and they can't take
the draft.
And so I don't know exactly what the deal is with Watson and his contract situation. He's definitely not a free agent this year.
No, he signed an extension.
Yeah.
He signed a big extension.
I can't remember off the top of my head the details of it.
It's like $400 million or something like that. Like, it's a lot of money.
I'll look into it. But anyway, the Texans are a team for next year that I don't think is. I mean, they need quite a head coaching hire to get any better.
Yeah, I don't think next year is going to be the year you're going to see the Texans.
I think you're going to probably see more of the same out of the Texans next year.
And I feel bad for Watson because Watson's like.
Okay, it was before the season. Watson signed a 4-year, $156 million. Yeah, I was like, I feel like I would remember.
You know what? 4-0.
Yeah.
That was it. That was
4 years for $156.
About close to $40 million a year. So
if they wanted to be really dumb, he's very tradable. Could get right back into that top 5 if you wanted to trade Deshaun Watson.
And then what are you going to do? Drop the quarterback?
I personally,
ride the ship with Deshaun.
I don't think the Texans are getting really any better next year. We'll see who they get as head coach, but
that line is so bad. No one's helping.
The Titans are a team that
I love the Titans
rematch
offense.
of the Ravens.
I love the Titans offense, but boy, oh boy, is their defense bad.
I mean, on pass rush especially, they just can't generate any kind of pressure. And we've had this conversation about Jadeveon Clowney and stuff, but I mean, I don't know. I kind of like the Ravens. I don't like.
Me too. The Ravens are favored.
As they should be. I think. I just don't. Yeah, Lamar can't throw, but if he's gonna have 10 seconds to throw, someone's gonna get open and he's gonna find him.
So, as long as Hollywood Brown doesn't drop it.
So we'll see. Again, once we get through this last game here, which I have a feeling might take a second for Andrew to talk about, we will preview all the wild card matchups. But Washington takes down the Eagles 20-14. I'll defer over to you and let you handle this one, Andrew.
So just to recap what had happened, we were in that game. We were in that game. We were down 17-14. We were 4th and goal from about like the 5 to 7, somewhere over there.
That was a weird call to go for it.
Oh, well, you know why the call.
Well, it's Doug Peterson.
I mean, it's Doug Peterson in most situations, but it's also Doug Peterson in a tanking situation. I mean, you are down by 3 in a game that you want to win. You're kicking that field goal.
Yeah.
And then the next time the Eagles take the field, it's Studfeld, Nate Studfeld. And this has caused a lot of controversy in the NFL world, and I can understand it. However, I want to start by saying I've never been a guy that likes tanking. I hate it. I think the NFL needs to do something about it. However, nothing has been done about it yet.
Nothing can really be done about it.
I mean, can you do a lottery? I would hate that for the NFL.
No, I think the NFL is not a system where the worst team in the league needs the number 1 pick.
I agree.
Maybe if you wanted to do a lottery like after the top 3 or something like that, but then that gets all messy.
It gets messy.
I don't. Well,
maybe you hand out fines, you do something, but I can understand why the entire NFL universe was pretty disgusted at the Eagles, because we pretty much had a game in hand that, I'll be honest, we were going to win that game if we had tried. Dude, maybe we had a shot to win that game, and
Hurts could have won it with his legs.
Well, here's the thing:
they weren't throwing.
Before I get into everything, Jalen Hurts was 7 of 20, an interception, 0 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns.
Let's not act like it was like a guarantee that the Eagles were going down to score if Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts had a horrible game. Jalen Hurts had a horrible game with his arm. But anyway, the fashion that everything happened, it was ugly. However, for the Philadelphia Eagles, their job is to do what is best for the Philadelphia Eagles. Certainly not what is best for a division rival. I know the players were pissed off. I mean, you go out. I was listening to Brandon Graham on WIP, which is the Philadelphia sports radio, like the big sports radio in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. And you just heard it in his voice. He's like, man, like, we go out there to play. Like, week 17, we want to finish the year on a strong note. We practice all week. We play all week. We want to play hard. And look, Doug Peterson took out, by the way, said this on the last show, the plan was to play Nate Sudfeld in the second half.
Yeah, it's actually really funny you say that, because someone asked me, they said, where is Andrew hearing that? Because I have not heard anyone else say that about Nate Sudfeld maybe playing, but, he got in the game.
Yeah.
So.
And Brandon Graham actually said he was surprised that it waited for the fourth quarter. However, like Miles Sanders said today, they didn't like the move. I understand why you don't like the move. Players play. They don't care about the draft pick. The draft pick doesn't matter to them. But at the end of the day, what did we have to benefit to win? Pride?
Yeah.
Pride?
It's an
We had way more to benefit to lose that game.
Listen, I just you lose that. You want to start Nate Sudfeld? Go ahead and start
That's
Nate
the thing.
Sudfeld.
If you want to play Nate Sudfeld, if you don't want to win that game, by the way, how many other inactives did we not have?
They had a bunch of starters out, but
right.
I don't have
if you want to play Sudfeld and don't want to win that game, start Sudfeld.
He should have been playing the whole game.
Right.
I think what's just rubbing everyone the wrong way is the fact that you're getting the ball back down 3 with 12 minutes left in the game, and then that's when you go to Nate. I mean, it was just the most obvious tank job.
It was.
If you're going to tank, you got to be a little bit more subtle about it.
But the thing is, again, our job is to help Eagles universe, Eagles fans, our organization. If we go out and win that game, it's not the Giants fans and the rest of the NFL that's pissed. It's me and every Eagles fan that it's like, why did we go back from 6 to 9? You have our arch rival. I mean, granted, I don't like the Washington football team. They're a divisional team, but they're not the Giants and they're not the Cowboys. So we give the Giants a playoff spot at that point, and then we move down to 9 for what? And here's the thing: the Giants fans and Giants players and everything have been on us and been super upset about the situation. And I get it. This is the same team that was super upset about their own situation when they didn't tank for Chase
Young and beat Washington last
year. The
same
fans.
Yeah.
Same fans saying, have integrity. They're the same fans that were super upset about losing or winning a game against Washington last year.
And it's funny you say that, because I think the conversation we kind of had this week was we're both friends with a lot of Giants fans.
We're from northern New Jersey,
so
Giants country.
It was very funny that the Giants win, and then all day you hear this, come on, Eagles, do it
that
for
was
Giants.
The best thing. On Twitter, it was
do
Giants,
it for Giants universe.
Fly, Eagles, fly, fly, Eagles, fly. It's that was the best thing.
And then
we have those screenshots. We saw those tweets.
12 hours later, it's we're gonna beat you up next year. I mean,
which honestly, I would say since we've beaten the Giants,
we've
had the Giants' number for we beat the Giants when we don't play the Giants. We've had their number. I'll tell you right now, we're trending in different directions. We'll probably end up losing to them next year. I mean, I don't know what our offseason is going to look like.
Giants are on their way up, and we'll see it. We'll see on the Eagles.
Well, we'll see what happens with the Eagles. But again, we're having a completely different conversation if the Eagles don't tank that game. I also think there needs to be something to be said. It's like, you know what? If you're 6-10. You can't be this upset about missing the play. Here's the thing. I understand.
That's what Logan Ryan came out and said, right?
Yeah, it was like, we're the most entitled 6-10 team of all time. If you cannot put the ball in someone else's hands and say, win for us, especially your arch rival.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But, I mean, at the end of the day, and Joe Judge said, here's where I agree with Giants Nation and everything. Joe Judge, Giants head coach, he went out and said, he just... From the standpoint of that, it was disrespectful to everybody who sacrificed Thanksgiving, Christmas, seeing family, having to quarantine to play NFL games, etc., etc., etc. It's so remarkable that the NFL got their season off. It really is, in any sports league. And he thought it was super disrespectful of the Eagles to, spit in the face of that, which we kind of did.
And you actually said it after the game. I wish that game wasn't on Sunday Night Football, and then this would probably be a non-story.
Because this is another point I want to bring up.
You should have had both games at the same time. It didn't make any sense to have...
This is another thing I really want to bring up. So the Steelers sat all their... I'm bringing the Steelers up for a reason. The Steelers sat all their starters. Theoretically, say the Dolphins won their game,
Mm-hmm.
The Colts would have had the same thing to be all upset about.
Except they'd be 10-6.
Well, exactly. They'd be 10-6, and the Steelers would have not tanked. They're resting their starters, but quote unquote not try in a game that matters.
Yeah, I think it was kind of just the perfect storm of the fact that it's the NFC
national
East,
football,
and it was on national TV.
All that. I don't know. I'm glad this fuels fire for the rivalry. To be honest with you, it's gotten stale. We've just kind of beaten up on the Giants. Now they hate us. And you know what? No one likes Philly anyway. So
I can understand Giants fans being upset.
Oh my lord, of course.
For a couple of days, and then I think you have to realize.
I think we need to stop. I mean, the media kind of needs to stop talking about this. It's. I guess there's no other news, but it's like.
who cares now?
So many teams do this. I'm not proud of what happened. I can't say I'm proud of what happened. Can I say I'm upset about it? Absolutely not. This is what we need. This is what the Eagles needed to move forward. Was it one of the?
Let's keep in mind they were playing for the privilege to lose to Tom Brady as well.
Yeah, literally. I mean, we did the Giants a favor. We moved you from 19 to 11.
I think in a year, I think you'll look back at that. And it's really 19 to 11.
Well, yeah, because they would have been the worst team and now they're 11th pick.
No, I mean, I think... Yeah, you're going to look at... Depending on if Gettleman doesn't screw it up, which Gettleman's a pretty dang good drafter.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Thomas is a good draft. I mean,
he took
let's go back.
Listen, I think there's not a person on the planet who not necessarily a person on the planet, but most people would have taken Dwayne Haskins over Daniel Jones.
Right, okay. Fair.
I would have.
I'm not the biggest Daniel Jones fan, however.
Neither am I, but...
That is...
It's not like he's
100 miles a better pick than Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. The Giants are.
I feel bad that they had all this faith in us, and it was just we weren't going to win that game. We didn't want to win that game. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was kind of decided from the start of that game that they weren't going to win. So whatever. Next year. 8 draft spots better. It's going to end up benefiting the Giants.
It's going to end up benefiting the Giants. I understand the Giants fans are... Here's the other thing. They've been so abysmal for 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, just... We want to be in the playoffs. So that's, I guess, that part of being a fan. But again, it's going to benefit the Giants. Hey, I'm not proud of what happened. I'm happy it happened. I want to move on.
Now, if I'm the Bucks, I'd much rather play the football team than the Giants.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand that. I just think Washington has a good defense, but I think the Giants have a good defense too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would just think that...
Here's the thing. Alex Smith, by the way. The only reason we were in this game, again, we went down 10-0. It looked like they were going to blow our doors off, and he played...
Bad.
I mean, bless the guy's heart, because everybody loves Alex Smith. A great comeback story. He's just not very good.
Yeah.
He's just not very good. I mean, he was our second. I mean, we were literally had guys on our team. I was like, no, Blake Countess played for the Eagles today. The other day, I had no idea Blake Countess was an Eagle. Excuse me, I'm yelling a little bit. But, he looked bad against practice squad dudes.
Yeah, I mean,
and the Bucs defense is great.
Comeback player of the year, great story. Everyone loves Alex Smith, but probably time for Washington to move on. It's the point I wanted to make. The Washington football team, they can get a quarterback, they're going to be a problem. Like a major problem because that front seven is absolutely nasty.
They have good weapons on offense.
Decent secondary. Have great weapons on offense. Well, not great. Decent weapons on offense.
Young
weapons that can be added to and can like.
Logan Thomas is a good. He's actually kind of agey up there. He's got drafted in 2014.
Yeah,
but he's. Feels like he's young because he's kind of emerging.
I mean,
Antonio Gibson is one of my favorite young running backs in the league. So
I really, really like the future outlook of the Washington football team.
Yeah, we're gonna have our hands full.
We'll see what happens.
Their hands full.
If they can get it right quarterback wise, I think you're gonna see a repeat champion for the first time in what?
Really? I honestly think the Giants or Cowboys are going to take it next year.
How many? When was the last time there was a repeat champion in the NFC?
I think
it's been
it was
at least
us
20 years.
In 2004.
2000. I mean, so
and that was when we kind of had our reign on the NFC, but then only won it.
I mean, and I don't even mean necessarily next year. I'm just saying that if they can figure it out down the line, quarterback wise, they're going to be a force in the NFC East, and I think they're going to run the NFC East for a while. But we'll see what happens.
Don't you wish you lost to them week 16 last year, guys?
I would much rather have Chase Young than Andrew Thomas.
I mean, Andrew Thomas is a good player.
He's been fine. But yeah, Chase Young, defensive rookie of
the year. He's already like a star. That's the coolest thing.
He's already a captain. He's already a star.
He's a star. He's on every commercial. Yeah. You see him on Instagram, and all the promos. He's a star.
There is no ceiling for how good Chase Young can be in the NFL. He's going to be. I mean, if he can stay healthy, he's going to be a dominant force for probably the next 10 to 15 years. But I think
that does it for week 17.
Yeah, that'll wrap it up probably for week 17.
Eagles stuff to bed. Yeah. That was the first time I ever looked at the Eagles and I wanted them to lose, and I never want to do it again.
You want to start with the AFC or the NFC?
Let's move forward. We're talking about the playoffs. We can start with the AFC.
Okay.
Why not?
I don't have the schedule of games in front of me.
I can.
2 versus 7 is going to be Bills.
Some elevator music, and then we'll get there. Do you want to do? We'll do the schedule.
Okay.
I guess it kind of makes sense.
We'll do it chronologically.
First
game.
There you go.
Actually, is Bills versus Colts. So that's what, Saturday at 1:00.
And the Bills open up as a 7-point favorite,
which I think is fair.
Look, this is gonna. Here's the thing. Again, we've talked about this before. The Colts are a really good team. It's just like the Bills are like really, really good.
I mean, it's gonna depend on what that defense can do to limit Josh Allen. I think it's gonna be the difference in the game.
I just don't see a upper 30-year-old Phillip Rivers going into Orchard Park to beat the Bills in the play. I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a game I could kind of see maybe turning into a blowout, but it
could go either way, and I kind of like the Bills -7 in a way.
If I were betting on it, I'd probably take the Bills to cover that -7 because I think it's not more likely than not, but I think it's more likely than the Colts winning is the Bills absolutely blowing them out.
Absolutely.
So, I'm gonna predict the Bills on that one.
The Bills are a force to be reckoned with in the AFC. I think they're the only team that you can really look at and say, yeah, they have a chance to take down the Chiefs. That's good. If that is your AFC championship,
and this is the point
is
the point we were talking about earlier with the top heavy versus more teams that can win. Yeah, I don't see a team outside of the Bills or Chiefs. I mean, it's going to be Bills Chiefs AFC championship. I'm pretty comfortable going on the record saying that because I just don't. Who's going to beat them?
Think about it logistically. The Chiefs are going to have to play the worst seed, and that's going to be probably the Ravens or Titans, depending on who you think we're going to win that game. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Unless the Browns win.
I don't see that happening. I kind of see the AFC being chalk until the AFC Championship, and then I can't even predict that game because I need to see what these teams look like in the playoffs.
We'll get to that down the line.
Weeks down the line, maybe both teams lose.
Second game on Saturday.
This is a great game.
What do we got?
Even with Walford, it's Rams Seahawks.
Rams Seahawks, okay. And that's what, 4:00 on Saturday?
Yes.
Okay.
4:40.
Rams Seahawks. We talked about it earlier. We don't know if Jared Goff is going to be playing or not.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, it matters, but I still think they have a shot with Walford.
Yeah, Walford probably is about equal to an injured Goff who can barely throw if it's a throwing hand thumb injury.
Walford was funny. Did you see his post game interview? He was like,
"No, I didn't." What did he say?
They were like, "How do you feel after this win? Like how do you want to act after it?" And he's like, well, honestly, I don't know how to act. I've never won an NFL game, so, like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he was
good. He was serviceable. He moved down the field. He could use his legs.
It'd be a nice little story if they were to go into this and win with John Walford.
I think it's entirely possible.
What's the line?
-4.
Give me Seattle -4.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Yeah, I mean...
I could never bet on a backup quarterback to win in the playoffs.
All right, well, what if Goff plays?
And he's healthy? I think this is a toss-up.
Here's the thing. We would know right now if Jared Goff is healthy.
Yeah. Chances. There's no way he's healthy. In a hypothetical world where he was healthy,
he's going to be playing hurt.
Then I think this game is a toss-up.
Yeah,
but there's no way he's healthy.
No way he's healthy.
So give me Seattle -4. I think I'd take that and run.
All right. Yeah.
What do you think?
If I'm going to bet on this game, or if I have to pick a winner, I would say Seattle's going to win this game. They're looking good right now. I mean. The Niners game was tough, but again, that's like a great rivalry, so who knows with those games.
The NFC West are kind of always have the most exciting divisional matchups, especially this year in prime time.
I think, remember last year?
Yeah,
Niners,
this year and last year, yeah.
We were a hair away from having a completely different seeding last year. Maybe the Niners will make the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
But, I would agree. Give me the Seahawks -4. I still think there's something to be said that the Rams could definitely win that game. They have one of the best.
I don't think it's impossible by any means. I'm just, I'm not going to pick against Russell Wilson when he's taking on John Walford. Assuming he's taking on John Walford.
When you put it that way,
yeah, it's hard to pick against that.
Yeah.
But Saturday night game is what? Bucks?
Well, the NFL did everybody who wants to go out on Saturday night a favor by putting the Bucks and the Washington football team on because
I'm gonna sit there and watch. Are you kidding?
I will too.
Tom Brady back in the playoffs.
I will too, but everybody that's normal.
Yeah, everybody who's not like us who doesn't sit all day on Saturday and Sunday watching football.
Here's an interesting line because I think they're gonna shatter this. The Bucks are -8.
Come on, I mean, you can't do much more than -8 in a playoff game because it is a playoff game. I would
because the Saints are -9.5. But
I would be curious to know what the biggest line in an NFL playoff game of all time was, but I would think it'd be less than like 12.
My idea of that would probably be Seahawks Panthers when the Panthers had 6 wins and made the playoffs.
With who's the quarterback in that team?
Derek Anderson
in the playoff. Yeah.
So that would be my idea, but that's
anyway.
Just a guess.
Bucks football team.
The Bucks are going to win this game.
The Bucks are going to win the game. I'm not saying that, but I don't know. Washington could make it a game. They kind of have that formula to give Tom Brady trouble.
It's something that would be concerning.
If they can be all over him and be in his face,
right? But again, the Bucks don't have a bad offensive line.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and.
I'm taking Bucks great experience for Washington.
Yeah, no,
young players on both sides of the ball.
I'm taking Bucks -8, but I don't think it'll be a blowout.
So, like, they win by 10, 14 points?
Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's kind of a blowout.
Not quite.
Bucks win. And here's something I want to say. I mean, we're looking ahead a little bit, but to me, the only team that not the only, but the team that has the best shot to me to go into Lambeau and beat the Packers would definitely be the Bucks.
Has to be. If Drew Brees goes into Lambeau Field, he's going to like explode if he gets hit. He's going to shatter into a million pieces.
Yeah. People are on the Saints to make a run this playoffs. I'm not at all.
What is he, 41, Drew Brees?
I mean, Brady's 43, but Brady's Brady.
Not comparable.
Brady's not a human being.
I mean, Brees has been bad this year.
Yeah,
he's done.
You can't even put an age to Tom Brady. He's just like supernatural.
4,600 yards and 40 touchdowns.
Come on, he's the
second highest yardage total of his career for Tom Brady this year.
43. I think a 44-year-old Tom Brady that we're also getting ahead. The Bucs are kind of dark horse favorite to win next year.
With a full off season, we'll see what happens with Gronk, but they'll be getting O.J. Howard back, and the defense is going to continue to do what it's been doing.
Winfield's going to be in his second year.
Yeah, we have to. We actually play the Bucs at home next year. It'll be.
That's awesome.
It'll be an emotional day for me.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be an emotional day for Tom too.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. And Gronk, if he's still around, I don't know what his deal is contract-wise. I know the Patriots traded his rights to the Bucks, and I think he only had 1 year left on the deal, so he'd probably have to get another 1 year deal.
Well, here's the thing: if Gronk's gonna play again, which I think he will, he's been pretty good this year. He's not playing with anybody but Tom.
Oh, I mean, that goes.
I think saying. I'll say this. This is a little prediction. I think when Tom retires, Gronk retires.
I don't know. I think Tom. Because Tom only signed a 2 year deal with Tampa Bay.
If next year goes well,
if he has another good year.
Speaking of Drew Brees, by the way, this is probably it for him. That's I would imagine he's not very good.
So
he was amazing quarterback, amazing.
Not to jump ahead, but could the Bears prematurely end Drew Brees' career?
Yes, they can.
We'll get to that, but anyway, going back to the Bucks, I just next year, look out. I don't think they're going to win the NFC.
Lord.
I don't think they're going to win the NFC this year.
No, I think, and I heard someone say this like a few weeks ago, or actually a couple months ago when they were kind of having a little struggle. It's like this is year one, and now they're clicking.
Year one in a year that he had a month.
Yeah,
not even. And this is Tom Brady we're talking about. He's the most particular, concise. Everything is so important. Like every yard, every inch
of his life.
He's so.
He doesn't eat strawberries.
He's so precise. Yeah, I mean, his life, and he's a weirdo. That goes.
He is on top of his. But you know what? It's like him and LeBron James. The reason they're this good for this long is because they pay that much attention to detail.
I mean, and there's no one more particular in terms of little footwork things and stuff like that than Tom Brady. And that
one's been around as long as he has.
That kind of thing takes years to. And you see. In New England the past 20 years, there's a reason why these rookie receivers, not that Belichick drafts well, but these young receivers, they struggle because it's too much.
Yeah.
Mentally for that. I mean, Brady is just so particular is the word that keeps coming to mind because I mean,
and now you see him with these veteran receivers. I mean, Chris Godwin is
he has the best wide receiver core in the league right now. Sure,
of course.
But he also had a month to get used to throwing to him, and it's not like this isn't Madden.
Yeah.
It's not like you just huck it up.
Yeah, you have fantasy draft.
Oh yeah, you have some great receivers.
We'll sim the preseason and we'll play week 1 and then go to bed. Like it's not.
I mean, it's not like the chemistry is just there automatically just because they're all great players. That thing takes years to build. So
speaking of, Antonio Brown is emerging right now.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns on Sunday, and probably Mike Evans being out had a little something to do with it.
A little bit, but that's the thing. Mike Evans is out, and I love Mike Evans. Mike Evans does not get... He's absolutely, one of the best receivers of this decade, for sure. Doesn't get the respect that he deserves, I think. I mean, everybody knows he's a great receiver, but they don't really put him in, that upper echelon, which I don't think he is, but... Even if he was out,
he's more consistent than just about anyone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we said
that's
the seven straight 1,000-yard
First,
seasons.
yeah, broke Randy Moss's record. You want to move on to Sunday?
Yeah, we can. Last thing on the Bucks, they're going to be such a problem next year.
That's my little
with a full off season.
A little before the season starts, I think. Before the season ends, if you had a gun to my head and you asked me what's Super Bowl going to be next year,
Bucks
Chiefs.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But we'll go ahead and move on to the Sunday games.
Ravens Titans. This is probably your most competitive, not even competitive, just.
I believe it's the only rematch from last year, right?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. A lot of these teams weren't even in the playoffs last year.
So. We get a rematch of last year's AFC division.
The Ravens looked like the best team in the NFL last year. And then the Titans, who were, honestly, I mean, we look at the Titans now a year later as they're established. Mm-hmm. That was a Cinderella story.
Yeah, I mean, they went into New England the week before. I think they played Houston in the wild card round, I want to say. They had 3 straight road games.
No, they played you.
Oh, wait, what am I saying? They beat us in the wild card round because we botched the first round bye by losing to Miami in week 17. Yeah. And then they go into Baltimore and win that, and go into Kansas City and nearly win that.
Yeah.
And, well, not really nearly, but gave them a pretty good fight. So, yeah, definitely a Cinderella story. The formula to winning a Super Bowl or even getting to a Super Bowl is not a wild card team that has to go on the road 3 straight weeks. No. It just doesn't. I mean, we've seen it happen before.
But now they're at home, and believe it or not, I mean, I don't even believe it or not because I agree with this. Titans are home underdogs to the Ravens. The Ravens are emerging in a big way right now. They look really, really good.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know about the Ravens.
Really? Tennessee's defense is just not good. It's just really bad.
I can absolutely see the Ravens winning this game, and if they do, it's because Tennessee can't play any kind of defense whatsoever. They can't get to the passer, and like we were saying earlier, if Lamar has both of us have the same opinion on Lamar Jackson. Great football player, not a great quarterback.
I mean, yeah, I'm literally looking at his stats right now.
But again,
26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 2,757 yards. Actually, the only quarterback ever to have back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons. Again, great football player, not a great passer.
But if he has 10 seconds to throw the ball...
Which we've seen, like, this past week, he's throwing bombs down the field. Yeah. You give anybody 10 seconds to throw the ball.
What is it?
3.5.
Ravens 3.5? Minus 3.5?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm taking the Ravens. Actually.
It's even there, so it's minus 120 for plus 3.5 the Titans, and it's even at minus 3.5.
I'm taking the Ravens, and I don't feel good about it because I can see this game going any number of which ways.
This is your best game. They should have put this game on Sunday night, to be honest with you.
That's the 1 o'clock game on Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I guess they put the Browns and Steelers on Sunday. I guess it's a divisional rivalry.
Yeah, I have no issue.
So I understand that. But at the same time, this is the Ravens have had this circled on their schedule all offseason. We got upset by the Titans. This was last year was our year to make a noise. Lamar Jackson.
They played in the regular. Didn't the Titans beat them in the regular season?
I believe
year?
they did.
I think they did.
But in the playoffs, is a different story. I think Lamar Jackson gets his first playoff win on Sunday. I'm not sure about it, but if I had
this is I would say this is the prediction I feel the least good about, but I will, I guess, take the Ravens. Next game would be what?
Bears Saints.
And this is a Sunday 4 o'clock game.
Minus 9.5 Saints.
I think that's too high.
I agree that's too high. I think the Bears aren't very good. I mean, we've seen them play a good team, and they just got absolutely shellacked and a good defense.
I don't think the Saints are great either, though.
I am not a big believer in the Saints. I think if it wasn't for Alvin Kamara, Drew Brees would have been retired already.
Similar to how I think the football team is a quarterback away. If the Saints were to figure it out...
Oh, my Lord.
Let's operate under the assumption that Drew Brees is retiring, because almost certainly he probably
I'm sorry,
is.
but imagine if the Saints go out and trade for Matt Stafford.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think the Saints are definitely going to be in a situation next year where they're going to look for a bridge-type quarterback.
Or it's going to be Taysom Hill.
Or maybe they roll out Taysom Hill.
It's going to be that.
Let me ask you this. Do you think they'd have a better chance to win this game against the Bears with Taysom Hill starting?
No. Maybe. I think the chances would probably be the same. You have a different game plan, but it'd be the same. It's a completely different game plan. So, I mean... He's an option quarterback.
One way or the other, I don't know, but...
They're not going to not start Drew Brees.
Obviously, I'm going to take the Saints to win the game.
Drew Brees this year reminds me a lot of Peyton Manning in 2015.
I think he has a lot more left in the tank than Peyton Manning did in 2015. Peyton Manning in 2015 was horrible. Yeah. Was really like the worst quarterback in the league. He got benched for Brock Osweiler.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a plantar fasciitis, however you say that, going on. He had
plantar fasciitis.
Yeah. What he had some injury, but he was terrible. Tom Brady, here's a little fun fact for you. Tom Brady, that regular season, threw more touchdowns in Denver than Peyton Manning did. Because they played in Denver, I think Tom Brady threw 3 touchdowns in that game. I think Peyton had 1 home touchdown. Maybe 2. But I know Brady had more, which is funny. But...
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, and, of course, Denver goes on to win the Super Bowl that year.
But again, they had an incredible defense.
Yeah, Peyton Manning didn't go on to win that Super Bowl. Cam Newton letting the ball go.
Did Peyton Manning start every playoff game? I don't think he did.
He definitely started every playoff game.
He did? Okay.
I don't remember the divisional round off the top of my head, but he definitely started the AFC Championship against us. I do have to give him props because I was just hating on him that year. He did what he needed to do to beat us.
I absolutely love Peyton Manning. I'm glad he went off with a Super Bowl, but he wasn't the reason they won that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was, as a player, I was never a Peyton Manning guy, obviously, as a Patriots fan. But I'm a big fan of post-retirement Peyton. Peyton
Manning was one of my favorite players growing up.
But we're getting a little sidetracked here. Anyway.
The Bears can win this game. I don't think they will, but they can. They have that great defense that can shut down the
I'm taking Bears plus 9.5. Are you kidding me?
Plus 9.5.
You're going to spot the Bears 9.5 against a quarterback who... One of the best defenses in the league against a quarterback who, quite frankly, can't throw the ball anymore.
Yeah. That's kind of his
Give
thing.
me Bears plus 9.5, 100%.
I mean, they're going to dink and dunk it all game.
Yeah, I mean, and if Alvin Kamara comes out and does what he does.
Here's another thing. He might not even play.
Kamara?
He's on the COVID list.
Oh, yeah. I don't...
So here was the thing. If this game were to happen on Saturday, the 3 running backs couldn't play. If this game happened on Sunday,
eligible to come back for Sunday.
Eligible. I mean, it's the
tests.
playoffs. I think COVID doesn't predict the playoffs.
If for whatever reason Alvin Kamara does not play in this game, give me the Bears. 100%. No doubt about it.
At least
if
plus
Alvin Kamara, well, plus 9.5, I'm taking either way. But if Alvin Kamara doesn't play in the game, hammer Bears money line. Hammer.
Really? Well, what are let's see the odds on that. Let's see.
I don't know. There's something about this Bears defense, and there's something I just am not liking about the Saints this year for whatever reason.
I mean, the Saints they have a great defense. The Saints, to me, are fraudulent. They're not gonna.
I think the Saints will end up winning this game by a touchdown.
I agree. Saints win this game like 20-13.
I think I think Kamara or Michael Thomas makes a play at the end of the game.
I think we're underestimating how bad the Bears' offense is.
Yeah, I guess we haven't even mentioned the name Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky.
I mean,
I love Allen Robinson. I like David Montgomery.
If Trubisky can be serviceable and not make terrible mistakes,
the Bears definitely have a chance.
Then they can win. Then they can win this game.
You know who would love the Bears to win? The Packers.
Yeah,
because they don't have to play.
That would make it automatic Bears Packers, right?
Yeah, and they don't have to play Tampa.
Yeah,
and then that would make it Packers versus the Rams or Seahawks.
Yeah.
The Bucks maybe get there if they beat. Yeah, but again, the Bucks have to go in and then beat one of those teams.
So I don't know, man.
This is going to be an interesting game. I think this game's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think it will be.
I think 9.5 is too much, and I think I mean, no one likes Mitch Trubisky as a player. I don't hate him.
Really?
I think there's some stuff there.
There's some stuff there. There's some really bad stuff there as well.
But he gives you an infinitely better chance to win this game than Nick Foles does.
Well, yeah.
Obviously. I mean, that kind of goes without saying, but I don't know. I'm taking Bears plus 9.5, 100%, and I'm thinking
this is the 4:40 Sunday game. I think it's going to be an interesting game.
I'm thinking, assuming Kamara plays, Saints by a touchdown. I'll predict. So we'll move on from that and get to the final game of the week,
Browns Steelers, which I feel so bad for Cleveland.
Yeah, we touched on this a little bit earlier with Kevin Stefanski and some other coaches testing positive for COVID. By the way, week 17, Kevin Stefanski probably locked up Coach of the Year, right?
Yeah,
I would think.
Yeah.
It's got to be him or McDermott. Flores got no chance.
It really depends how good you think McDermott's job was and how good the Bills are.
Yeah.
Or do you think Stefanski did?
No, I'd give it to Stefanski as well. But anyway.
Ron Rivera, maybe a little consideration.
Yeah, I think Ron Rivera deserves a nomination, but probably won't win. I mean, he coached through cancer all year, so I'd be far from upset if Ron Rivera.
Yeah, and like, who doesn't love Ron Rivera? He's a good dude.
Yeah. Great guy. Been around the league for a long time. Great coach. And again, going back to that Washington football team is going to be a problem. Ron Rivera is one of the best coaches in the league.
In the league. I mean, honestly, the thing is, like, Carolina fired him like it was just time for a change. It was time. It was like when we fired Andy Reid in 2012. He's, again, one of the best coaches in the league, but it was time for a change.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that the Panthers made a mistake by firing Rivera, which, you could make the argument, but it's not like they have any slouch in Matt Rule. I love Matt Rule. I think he's going to be there for a long time.
It was the right move for them.
Absolutely, I think it was the right move for both sides. I think Rivera needed a change as well, and this kind of new challenge with the Washington football team I think has been awesome for him. So I'd be fine with Rivera Coach of the Year. I think it'll go to Stefanski, but regardless, Browns, Steelers.
Yeah, back to this game. We said going into the...
What's the line, though?
6 right now, so it opened up at 3.5. But now that Stefanski's
that was today's news, I believe.
Which is kind of interesting to think about, like how a coach can impact a line. Coach not being there,
especially the Browns. I mean, I think Stefanski has kind of been the one who's made that offense go running wise, similar to how Kyle Shanahan did with the 49ers run game last year. I mean, the Browns found their identity this year, and it was run the ball and run the ball often. And it's not like it's, I like Baker. I think you like Baker too.
Baker has grown on me in a huge way.
Baker throwing 20 to 25 times has been a recipe for success for them this year.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're going to try to keep doing. But, I don't know. You got Cameron Hayward coming back for the Steelers too.
Again, they went out and they almost lost. Granted, the Steelers came back to the Steelers backups. This game will be in Pittsburgh.
Unfortunately, as much as I hate,
do they win by 6 though? Do they win by 6 though?
I think so. I think probably.
Yeah.
I think a touchdown.
And then I think the Steelers go into Buffalo and get pummeled.
Oh yeah, I don't think anyone's disagreeing with that.
Give me 10 points in that.
Yeah,
game.
I would take 10 points in that game as well in that potential matchup. But as much as I like the Browns, and I wouldn't be shocked if they came.
No, not at all. If they came out and won,
because neither of us are big on the Steelers
at all.
Both of us are very,
the Steelers
very low
when they were 11-0 were probably the worst 11-0. As so many people say,
make the argument they were the worst 11-3 team of all time.
Yeah,
so
the Steelers played a lot of teams that weren't very good.
Yeah,
beat them all. And then the team that they did play, they barely won. I'm kind of out. The Steelers, it's another team that probably needs a quarterback next year.
You know what? Give me Browns +6.
Really?
And
here's the thing.
Probably not going to put any money on it.
The line went from 3.5 to 5 to 5.5. Now that we're sitting here,
6:17 p.m. on a Tuesday.
It's probably going to keep going.
It's probably going to keep going up, and I'm going to take it. I would agree. Take the Browns.
If it gets to like 9, come
on.
I'd take Browns.
It's a divisional game. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, real quick on the Browns. I'm a big The Herd guy. I don't agree.
Cowherd.
I don't agree with a lot of his takes. I think it's extremely entertaining to listen to.
Yeah.
And I saw something. I just thought it was cool. I wanted to bring it up.
That he put out yesterday. So when the day that the Browns drafted Baker Mayfield, he said, Baker Mayfield's more Mazda than Maserati.
Mm.
On the running play that clinched the game for the Browns, the play call was Maserati. That's pretty cool.
That's funny.
That's pretty cool.
And I don't think that comment is necessarily wrong because it's not like the Browns went 11-5 on Baker's arm this year.
No, they did it on Chubb's legs and the defense.
Baker did what he. And Chubb was out for a lot. It's amazing how Stefanski was able to kind of right.
This team had COVID issues. This team had
Chubb missed 8 weeks, something like that.
8 weeks.
He missed a lot of. He missed a lot of games this year. He got hurt early, and he definitely missed at least 5 weeks.
Well, having Kareem Hunt.
Obviously, of course, but to just a team that wants to run the ball the entire game for your star running back to get hurt and you still come out and stay winning games. I think it just speaks to the awesome job Stefanski has done this year for the Browns. But unfortunately,
crazy because
he's not going to be on the sideline.
We've seen that Browns jersey of all the
quarterbacks' names. Yeah,
think about the coaches.
Yeah. It might even be longer. It's definitely not longer.
It's definitely not longer.
It might be similar length.
And good for the Browns. They found their coach, found their
the Browns will be back next year.
The Browns will be back with maybe with Odell Beckham Jr.
We'll talk about that in the offseason, but I think he's going to get traded. But we'll see. They have a
lot of young.
That's someone I would take as a Patriots fan.
That was someone I would take as an Eagles fan. That'd be so great. If the Giants fans loved Odell, the Giants hate the Eagles more than they hate the Cowboys right now, and he'd be an Eagle. We're not trading for him unless we don't draft a wide receiver. We go draft Surtain, and we're getting off on a tangent. But say we do that, bring in Odell.
Yeah, that would be okay. The Browns are a team I think that is going to be around for the next 5 years or so.
Maybe longer.
I think the Browns are going to be in that playoff conversation
I'm
for
here
years
for it.
to come.
I love to see it.
I like Baker. I like that offense, and they're going to keep building up the defense. Browns could be, a real threat in a couple years.
Yeah, but I just don't see them winning on Sunday.
Unfortunately, I don't really see them winning on Sunday either. But another one of those I wouldn't be shocked.
And I didn't think the Browns were going to win if Stefanski was on the sideline anyway.
Yeah, give me Steelers by a field goal is what I'll predict.
Which, if that's the case, will be a great game.
Yeah, I really think all 6 of these games are pretty awesome. They all have something to offer.
Even the Washington game, it's like you're watching this young team in the playoffs, and we're watching Brady in the playoffs.
I'm going to sit there giddy that I'm watching a 43-year-old Tom Brady, no matter what uniform he's wearing. So
I will not be doing much this weekend.
Yeah,
I will not be doing anything.
That would be fair to say. So, I guess we'll probably just keep it with the wild card round for now.
Well, before the playoffs start, we got to give our Super Bowl predictions.
Okay, all right, let's do it. Go ahead, you go first.
I'm taking the Packers over the Chiefs.
Packers over the Chiefs. Packers to win over the Chiefs.
Packers to win over the Chiefs.
All right, we'll do
with Bakhtiari.
We'll do your realistic prediction and your ideal scenario. So for my realistic prediction, you said Packers over Chiefs. I'll say Chiefs over Packers.
Okay.
Boring. Yes, I know. Probably what's going to happen. Hopeful.
I think our ideal situations are the same, and I think you're going to be surprised. I hope
Bucks
Tom
Browns. Bucks Bills. Tom Brady
Bucks,
tortures
Bills.
Buffalo one last time.
Bucks Bills. I love Tom Brady. To me, I look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady is who I dreamt to grow up as, and there's still time.
Yeah. Now, while it would be weird, I mean, seeing Tom Brady win another Super Bowl would be awesome.
As a home team.
As the home team, yes, the Super Bowl is in Tampa this year. I mean, so the home team has never hosted, right? I think
no, I believe in 72. The Dolphins were the home team.
And then almost happened in 2017 with the Vikings, but Philly had something else to say about that.
No.
I guess it didn't
I can
really
talk about that game for an hour.
Happened. Yeah, I know you could. But anyway, I mean, I'm excited.
I am so excited to do absolutely nothing all weekend.
So
get my stuff done before noon.
Yeah, give me Bucks over Bills in a dream Super Bowl scenario.
Same.
So,
in a dream scenario.
Okay, so we'll leave it at that for the playoff matchups.
Yeah.
There is one more thing we wanted to do. So we got now 6 head coach openings.
Black Monday has come and gone.
It is now the day after Black Monday, which is the annual day after Week 17 where at least 4 coaches are fired.
Yeah.
You had a lot of midseason firings this year.
Anthony Lynn get fired. You had Adam Gase get fired.
Yep.
Dan Quinn already got fired. Patricia already got fired.
Marone got fired yesterday.
And
obviously Bill O'Brien had already been fired as well.
Go away, Bill O'Brien. What happens to you think? Random, real quick. You think Bill O'Brien goes and coaches college next year?
Did you see the report this week for who Bama is considering for offensive coordinator
I saw
positions?
Adam Gase. I didn't see Bill
Adam
O'Brien.
Gase and Bill O'Brien's names were both thrown
If
in
I'm
there.
you, give me Bill O'Brien. He was a great college
over
coach.
Adam Gase? 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I mean, look, I'll trust whoever Saban's going to hire because Saban's not going to hire a bum to run his offense, but
I would love to see Bill O'Brien.
I mean, Bill O'Brien was a Patriots offensive coordinator. I have no problem with Bill O'Brien. I don't think he's a great head coach. I know
he's not a good GM.
I know he's a bad general manager, but sure, come coach our. I mean, I would rather get someone else besides Bill O'Brien or Adam Gase.
Who else is on the list, real quick?
The report I saw said that the 2 names that came out this week were O'Brien and Gase.
Real
so
quick,
I'm sure
also,
Saban's forming.
Before we go into this topic, we're about 30 minutes away from the Heisman selection show. I think we're
the virtual Heisman
the virtual
selection
show. I think we're both on the same page. That's Devontae Smith's award.
I mean, it has to be.
Has to be.
I mean, if it's not, something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
And I would say that even if Mac Jones wins.
Yeah.
I would certainly say that if Kyle Trask wins.
Or Trevor Lawrence.
And Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence probably would have been the Heisman if it weren't for
but
losing 2 games. But he did lose 2 games. So.
I mean, it's not like you can
it's not like the College Football Playoff Committee cares about people missing games. So. That's different for me.
Yeah, if it were the same people deciding that, Trevor Lawrence would probably win Heisman if they were the Heisman trustees. But anyway,
back to our topic.
We don't need to get too into the Heisman. Yeah. Hopefully that's chalk and Devontae wins it. But okay, Chargers, Jets, Lions, Falcons, Jaguars, Texans.
All need a head coach.
Those are the 6. Now, what do you think the best one is?
To me,
we have 2 different answers on this. I think.
However, my number 1 is your number 2, and your number 2 is
it's a 1A 1B type of situation.
To me, and I've said this for years, the Chargers have had great personnel, and just something hasn't clicked. Look at that offense. Yeah. Look at even that defense. And there's players that are going to be coming back.
I mean, and it's not like Anthony Lynn never did anything with them. You know, they made the playoffs the year before with Phillip Rivers. You know, they got killed by New England.
Yeah.
But you know,
I just think they have great personnel. You have pretty clearly. I mean, Joe Burrow's a great quarterback, and Jalen Hurts. Say what you want about him, whatever. Justin Herbert was the best rookie quarterback this year.
Whoa. Tua?
Justin Herbert was the best rookie quarterback this season.
Pretty undisputably.
Give me an offensive-minded head coach that's going to give me Eric Bieniemy to go into L.A., coach Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, who's still young, Austin Eckler, who I love. That defense, Hunter Henry. I think the Chargers are probably the best team of these 6 personnel. Definitely the best team of these 6 personnel-wise.
Now, it's interesting that you brought up Bieniemy because he's kind of been that hot name for the past 2 years. He didn't get. I don't think he had any offers last year, but I don't know about Bieniemy.
Really?
Because
here's another name. The name's not coming up the top of my head. Titans offensive coordinator is getting them the head coach.
Yeah,
I love that offense.
I have heard him getting some looks. I think he probably will get a job.
Brian Dable's another one. Brian Dable and Sandy. No, excuse me, LA. Bring back our Chargers. I hate that they left San Diego, but that's fine. Dean Spanos is a completely different story.
Now,
give me Brian Dable.
I don't know. Just the thing that. By the way, it's Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator for the Titans. But I don't know. I'm just thinking. When you have a guy like Eric Bieniemy, yeah, I guess he's been the offensive coordinator for the buildup of Mahomes, but he's also got a head coach who is an offensive guy, and Andy Reid, and always has been an offensive guy.
Weirdest thing, Andy Reid has probably the best coaching tree in football.
Yeah, and I don't doubt that Bieniemy could do a good job. I'm just thinking in general, it worries me the fact that I don't know actually how much of that offense he was controlling.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, because I'm assuming Andy Reid calls the plays, but
probably
I don't doubt. I'm sure.
You know what? I have no idea if this happened. I just think that it would be smart and it would have been a good guy thing of Reid to do. I'd imagine Bieniemy called the plays this last week.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't see anything about it. But
no, not. But this is pure speculation. I would imagine that's probably what happened.
Anyway, so you say the Chargers. I like you said, I think it's kind of a 1A, 1B situation in which our 1 and 2s are just flipped. I'm going to say the Jaguars are the best opportunity.
For a different reason.
For different reasons. 1, obviously, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
2, they have a ton more draft capital. It's not just Trevor Lawrence. They have a lot of draft capital this year.
Yeah.
3, they're a team that was a ridiculous Tom Brady comeback. I mean, granted, none of those same players are on the team anymore, especially on the defense. But that's a team that...
I think Miles Jack might be the only player.
I think it is Miles Jack. But that's a team that was minutes away from a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think... I don't know. I like the going forward with...
I think they... And to add on to that, DJ Chark's a good young receiver.
Yeah,
James Robinson.
Not like that. It's not like they're working with nothing in Jacksonville. It's not like the Jets where you could draft a quarterback and then you have literally nothing around him. They were a 1-15 team this year.
And
they lost 15
we both
straight
agree
games.
that the Jets and Lions are the worst.
Yeah, they're definitely bottom of the barrel in
There's
terms
a lot
of that.
to do in both of those cities.
Well, something we didn't mention that we should mention because it's a big story. One of the names being considered for the Jacksonville head coaching position, Urban Meyer. And the report came out this week. It was some people refuted it as false that he was looking for $12 million a year.
I saw Rappaport tweet this morning.
I don't care.
I don't care how much he's looking for. I think that'd be awesome for him to coach Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville.
Now the
little Northern Florida reunion.
Another one who was getting some buzz, but he came out and said he has no interest, was Ryan Day, the Ohio State coach. I think we talked about that a little bit on the last show.
Yeah.
But again, Urban Meyer. Why not go coach Jacksonville? I mean, again, I'm not a fan of Urban Meyer.
Jacksonville's an interesting market. Jacksonville's an interesting market for me, just because there's no pressure.
You have like a decent fan base, but not like a ton of pressure to win. It's a good place. I would say that Jacksonville and the Chargers are definitely the firm 1 and 2 in any order you want to put them. After that, I think probably the Texans is the next best job.
And the only reason for that is because you have
literally one reason and one reason only. And I think Bieniemy could be a good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Actually, if we're predicting things here, I think that Bieniemy is going to end up being the head coach of the Houston Texans. But I mean, besides Deshaun Watson, you got no first round draft pick, and you got an aging J.J. Watt on defense.
You have nothing.
The Texans.
I am literally looking up and down the roster. I mean, you have some decent receivers that are kind of.
I mean, we were saying
they're not getting any younger.
We were saying before the show that there's a clear 3 best and a clear 3 worst. Now that we're talking about it, you could make the argument that the Texans are a worse job than like the Lions. Yes, you have Watson, but after Watson, it's literally nothing. Literally, absolutely nothing. So I think the Texans are going to be in a dark place for the next few years to come. I just don't see. I don't see how, especially now, if it's a new head coach.
We said there were 3 clear best, 2 clear worst. The Lions,
obviously, the Jets and Lions are the 2 worst,
and the Texans are maybe with them. The Falcons aren't that, because here's the thing: we were saying this earlier on the last show. Are they in a rebuild or are they in a retool?
It really.
They have the 4th overall pick, dude.
Because they could hang right in there with the core that they have, and I don't know if I'm going to say they could be competitive next year, but they're not a 4-12 roster. That's for sure. They went 4-12 this year.
They went 4. I mean, I believe it, but
they started
there were so
0-6?
There were so many games that were in.
Yeah. So the Falcons are a team that.
Remember that Cowboys game, like week 2 or 3?
Yeah. Yeah. On the
like they literally won and then just didn't.
Yeah. So and the Falcons are really probably the most interesting one on the list because I think they're the biggest one where you have a clear 2 choices in terms of retooling or completely rebuilding. For a team like the Texans or the Lions or the Jets, you're not going to be competitive with the core you have. That's kind of just the fact of the matter.
The Lions, Texans, and Jets. I look at the Chargers of the teams on this list are probably the only team that I would give a shot to make the playoffs next year. I mean, maybe if something miraculous happened. Like the Falcons drafted Zach Wilson, and he looks like Herbert this year. And they still have a horrible defense. The Chargers look like the best team on that list.
Yeah, the Chargers are, because similar to the Falcons, the Chargers were in so many games this year and just
over the past 10.
Well, yeah, they are kind of that team that loses close games all the time.
It's sad. But both of them are the Falcons too. Both teams just can't catch a break because they're decent teams, but
the Falcons. I don't know. You're sitting there at pick 4. Let's say. It really, I think, more than anything, I think it depends who you hire. Because
that's a good point. Are you going to hire an offensive guy or a defensive guy?
If you're going to hire a young offensive guy, like, say, an Eric Bieniemy, for example, I mean, I think you have to start over and draft a quarterback.
Well, here's my thing. Do you give Matt Ryan another year and then have
him be that bridge guy almost?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not. What if
Matt Ryan says, I don't want to do that. I want to go play somewhere.
I don't think he would if he's told, look, we're probably going to move on after this year. The job is yours for now, but I think he'd want to go out there and kind of prove that he can still do it. So another team would want to take.
I think Zach Wilson's a good pick for them.
Matt, we were talking about the trade market for quarterbacks too.
That's a whole other story, man.
Is it possible that one of the dark horse trade candidates is Matt Ryan? I don't think so.
I don't think it's impossible at all, because what if they say, screw the retool, we're rebuilding, trade away Julio, trade away Matt Ryan.
And just completely tear it down.
Yeah.
I mean, which, again, depending
on... I'll be honest with you, that's probably the best move.
Probably something...
You're delaying the inevitable by retooling.
Something that needs to be noted.
They're not competing for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, something that needs to be noted about this Falcons coaching search is that they fired their GM as well, which is important because, again, it's going to be a new guy coming in deciding whether he wants to tear it all down or not. So... Again,
if it's me and I'm coming into a situation like the Falcons, I tear it down.
Of these teams, are the Falcons... Actually, the Lions, I believe, fired Bob Quinn as well, their general manager. I think the Falcons and the Lions are the only 2 of these 6 teams that fired, I guess, the Texans because of Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
But the other three...
They haven't hired someone.
The Chargers definitely didn't fire their general manager. I don't know who it is.
Joe Douglas is still around.
Yeah, Joe Douglas is still around with the Jets. Again, I don't know who the Jags general manager is, but I think they
fired him. I think they fired Marone, and that was it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, if I'm the Falcons, if I'm coming in to be the new Falcons coach, I think I would probably just try to move on and tear it down. Because it's not like what is the best case scenario for the Falcons next year if they decide to keep the core of Julio and Matt Ryan and all those guys? I think probably the
10-6 is like
dream scenario is 10-6. I would agree with that, and maybe a playoff appearance. But at that point,
what's the point? What's the point?
It's not.
You're losing the wild
There's
card.
not any chance on the planet they can compete for a Super Bowl next year. Obviously,
so tear it down.
So yeah,
you're delaying the inevitable.
And it's not like another one more year with keeping that core together is going to put them in any better position. I mean.
Nope.
I do think you hold on to Matt Ryan and let him serve as kind of that bridge.
But if
guy.
he wants to, if he wants to get traded,
I don't think drafting a new guy is going to cause Matt Ryan.
And here's the thing: it depends who is on the market. Because like I said, I'm really not sure Wentz is on the market.
Yeah, we'll see. But
What I want the Eagles to do, I think what they're going through, they're going to take calls but not make them, and Stafford's definitely on the market. There's no way he plays another game as a Lion. I'd be shocked.
I think if it's really going to... I think the Falcons probably aren't going to decide what they do until they see who falls to them in the draft. Because if Justin Fields falls to 4, they're taking him. 100%. He's a Georgia kid. 100% they're going to take Justin Fields if he falls there. I'd be shocked and kind of appalled if they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, we're not the biggest Justin Fields guys. I don't hate him.
I'm starting to believe over the last couple days. It's interesting that you say that because
I think you're just a little scared about the national championship.
I'm terrified about the national championship. We'll get to that in a later show. We'll do a full national championship preview. Actually, we don't know if it's actually going to be played this Monday because of COVID issues.
The plans are it's going to be
I think
played,
it's probably going to end up being played, but we'll probably this weekend we'll have a full national championship preview in addition to a playoff recap. But anyway, over the past couple days, I've been thinking a lot about this QB2 in the draft situation, and I don't know. I think I'm taking Fields over Zach Wilson.
I mean, yeah, I agree. That's why I said Zach Wilson at 4 because I think Fields might be gone.
I'm not huge on Zach Wilson.
I like Zach Wilson.
I mean, I don't dislike him.
So a little bit more into my football fandom. I love the SEC and whatnot. I love the Group of 5 almost more, and I don't know why. It's like I watch high school football on Saturdays too.
Yeah.
So I watched a lot of BYU. He's a good quarterback. He's raw. He's definitely raw.
I mean, he's definitely a good quarter, and I'm not even saying I think Zach Wilson should be a first-round pick. I think
he's probably a top 10 pick.
There's a chance you have those top 3 guys in this draft that all end up being good.
So we're distinguishing Wilson over the other 3. Lance, Trask, and Mac.
I don't even talk to me about Trask. Trask is not in the top 5. I think he's the firm 6. 100% give me Mac Jones over Trask. 100%. But I think it's pretty firmly Lawrence, Fields, Wilson, and then I think there's a drop-off, and then you go Lance, Jones. We'll see what's there for the Patriots at 15.
Well, Trey Lance is so interesting to me. I don't know if anybody listening has seen his highlight tape.
Why doesn't he?
Go watch it.
I don't understand
Go
why
watch
he doesn't stay another year. I mean, he could be almost guaranteed first pick.
Here's what scares me about him not wanting to stay an extra year. You don't want to gamble on yourself. You don't think you're good enough. You don't think you're good enough to go tear up.
I mean, and actually, I haven't seen any reports one way or the other whether he's thinking about staying or not. Outside of myself, I haven't seen anyone else talking about
I agree with you. And I've talked to a lot of people that say, hey, like, you got to understand that these people, they're going to make a fortune no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, and there's something to be said about that.
There's something to be said about that. But to me, it's like, no, you're missing out. You want that number 1 overall pick money.
Now, like, is he thinking, wow, I might have a bad year next year? And if that's his thought process, the case, I don't want him anyway.
I'm out. Exactly.
It's an interesting point that you bring up.
Here's my another Lance theory of mine. You don't have to wait a year to transfer or to play if you transfer.
I think the rules are different for football and basketball. I think you can apply for some kind of transfer waiver. Maybe, yeah.
If for whatever reason he can play next year, go to a Power 5 school.
Go to LSU.
Yeah. Show yourself off. Say, I'm the man. I'm going to double down on myself. I'm going to go to, say, an LSU, and I'm going to ball out. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, again,
watch his highlight tape. It is something.
I don't know why we're the only ones who've had anything to say about Trey Lance maybe staying another year or transfer. I don't know why that's not like a common held thought.
Is there going to be a combine this year?
That's a good question. It's going to be weird if there is. And if there is, there's probably going to be a lot less guys invited to it than normal. So
you know what? Just do pro days. There's no reason. There's really no reason to.
I have no strong opinion one way or the other, but yeah, I would think that any
you
type
get
of
the same
combine
measurables. You can see the same things. If you're interested in a guy, go to their pro day. Watch the pro day on Zoom. I don't know.
It'll probably be a lot of that. But anyway, unless you have anything else, Andrew, I think that'll probably do it for the third episode of Throw It Deep. We're going to be coming with a national championship preview as well as a playoff recap. That'll probably be a long show.
That'll probably be a long show. May have to split that up.
We'll probably record that sometime after the weekend. We'll see what happens with if the national championship is played on time and whatever. But anyway, any closing thoughts?
I hope you all have a great lazy weekend.
Watching football.
If
you're listening to this, chances are you're going to be watching football.
Yeah, if you're in an hour and 24 deep, chances are you'll be watching football. And if you're going to be watching football with me, I'm excited to watch it with you.
Thank you for listening, everyone, and we'll get back to you with a fourth episode sometime later this week.